How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Super Bowl 54 in Miami, Florida. This was an excellent game, but not without its controversies. Now, before I even get into it, I gotta say congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys did a great job. I thought you were pretty much dead in the water at the top of the fourth quarter, but you were able to come back and score not once, not twice, but three times in the fourth quarter and win 31-20. It was a great performance. You guys did an excellent job. Shout out to the quarterback, my homeboy, Patrick Mahomes. You did a fantastic job leading some of those drives down the field to score. Shout out to the coach, Andy Reid. He's been a great coach for a very long time, in my humble opinion. Shout out to the players on the team, aside from the quarterback, of course, the staff, everybody that works for the organization, the city of Kansas City, and the surrounding region. Now, that is a great segue into my next point. This has kind of been bothering me for a while. Like overnight, I was thinking about it because I'm a big time geography buff. I love reading maps. I love just knowing where certain things are in the country and in the world. So when I saw this particular tweet and the reaction it got, it really kind of triggered me. And if you have not seen the tweet in question from President Trump, I'll place that on the screen before you. You see where he says, congrats to the Kansas City Chiefs and also to the people of Kansas and the entire USA. Now, people got incensed. They got triggered. They got butthurt talking about, oh, the Chiefs play in Missouri, not Kansas. He's an idiot. He doesn't know that Kansas City is in Missouri. Well, I hate to burst your bubble and be just kind of the voice of reason here, but there is a Kansas City, Kansas, as well as a Kansas City, Missouri. Matter of fact, they are directly beside each other. There is actually no difference aside from the state line. It's a seamless transition. It's not like Memphis and West Memphis where it's divided by the Mississippi River and it's a big time change when you go across the river to West Memphis in Arkansas. Nor is it like St. Louis, Missouri and East St. Louis, Illinois. It's, again, Mississippi River dividing it is not quite the same. Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri have a seamless transition. Same interstate system, a lot of the same facilities they share. It's basically the same place. It's just a state line dividing it. If you took the state line out, it would just be a city and it wouldn't be no big deal, okay? That's what's going on. So when people say that he was wrong for saying congrats to Kansas, I mean, was it really that big of a deal? Honestly, he's actually not all the way wrong. If he were to say congrats to Kansas and Missouri, he'd be correct because the city is literally right in between both states, and there's a Kansas City, Kansas, and a Kansas City, Missouri. Most people that are just talking about it don't know much about geography themselves. A lot of people are talking about Charlotte rather than Charlottesville as it relates to the whole thing about the statue of Robert E. Lee and the thing that happened there. But we'll move on. That was kind of on my mind. Let's get into the actual halftime show here, because this is also kind of a point of controversy. People are saying that the halftime show was too sexualized and they were like strippers and, you know, it's not family friendly. First of all, let's just get through it piece by piece here. The halftime show is not a place where you have little kids watching for, I think it's going to entertain them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to have Barney and Friends or Kids Bop or Sesame Street on there having a performance. That's just not what it is, and it's not what it has been for a very long time. Long before the whole Janet Jackson kerfuffle with the jank popping out and Justin Timberlake doing what he did, long before that, this has not been a thing you just sit down and it's like wholesome entertainment. For me personally, as an adult male, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. And it wasn't even that bad, really. I mean, the thing about the stripper pole, I understand that could be a little over the top, but it wasn't really that bad. I'm seeing freeze frames of Jennifer Lopez sliding on the ground and her hand is like right on top of her little region, but that was just like a freeze frame. It was not like she was posed there for a while. It wasn't like that. It was just a freeze frame of the video. Now, Shakira was on stage as well. I thought she did a great job. I think she did better than Jennifer Lopez, although they both did very well. People were saying that her performance was risque, but it's like maybe you just think that about Shakira in general, Maybe you've not been here before, but Shakira has been doing that same thing since Hips Don't Lie in 2006 with Wyclef crooning across the stage. Like, she's been doing that same thing for a very long time. So I don't know what you expected from a professional belly dancer in Shakira. Okay, so I'm not really understanding the outrage here. Furthermore, the outfits they had on were not much different than high school majorettes, college cheerleaders, and even the NFL cheerleaders. So I'm just kind of racking my brain to figure out what the problem is. Now, some are going to try to link race in here, but quite frankly, I look at Jennifer Lopez and Shakira as white women that happen to speak Spanish, especially Shakira. You know, they could be Hispanic or whatever, but that doesn't mean that they're not white. So I don't really see the race thing playing a factor in it, at least for me. People are talking about immigration. There's a piece of thing from the Hollywood Reporter or somewhere, and I'll place it on the screen before you, talking about, oh, the performance was about immigration. It was a statement in favor of immigration against Trump's policies. And it's like, Puerto Rico, showing the Puerto Rican flag, that's not about immigration because Puerto Rico is part of the U.S. They are a U.S. territory, so you can't be an immigrant to the U.S. if you are from Puerto Rico. That's not how that works at all. So I just don't understand. I look at the Puerto Rican flag the same way as any other state flag because they're part of the U.S. So to say that it was an immigration statement does not make any sense. You know, I did not see the Colombian flag from Shakira. Maybe it was on stage, maybe it wasn't, but I didn't see that. I saw the Puerto Rican flag, which is a part of America. It even has like the American flag kind of worked into it, but I digress. On the back of the flag that she had was also the American flag, and they showed both during the performance. So I don't see the immigration thing there. They're talking about the light they had on some of the kids on stage, represented kids in cages. I did not see all of that. And also, they're saying that there was kids on stage and they shouldn't have been there because of the salacious performance. But the salacious performance, quote unquote, was not happening while the kids were on stage. Also, you've had others that have done this kind of performance and wearing some of the same outfits. Beyonce back in 2013 had some of the same outfits on as did the rest of Destiny's Child. Adam Levine, what was that, last year or the year before, had his shirt off, oiled up. That was not a problem. It seems like there's some kind of collective outrage that I don't quite understand about the halftime show, but I digress. I thought it was okay. For little kids, maybe not so much, but I mean, if you got little kids watching the halftime show, you probably were thinking the same thing about how it's not family friendly for the past 20 years, but I'll move on. Speaking about Beyonce, her and Jay-Z sat for the national anthem. They sat down, they didn't stand up, put their hand over their heart or anything like that. And that's to be expected because they're still trying to be halfway woke. And the reason why I say halfway woke is because Jay-Z has a partnership with the NFL where he gets money with them to produce halftime shows, oddly enough. So I was not surprised that they sat down because they still kind of want to keep some of their street cred and all that good stuff while at the same time getting money with the quote unquote enemy. And the reason why I know it's kind of a political game with them, they're not really serious, is because Beyonce sung the national anthem for Barack Obama during his second inauguration. Okay, she was right there with Obama, Creepy Joe, right there singing. So I don't think they're necessarily against the national anthem, but they are against trying to appear to be sellouts, which according to their own logic, they would be, because Jay-Z was the kind of guy that would have on a Kaepernick jersey when Kaepernick was trying to get back into the league, talking about we stand with Cap. If I remember correctly, Jay-Z blocked or persuaded a rapper from going and performing at the halftime show. Right after that, he gets a deal with the NFL. So there's a lot of hypocrisy here, a lot of do as I say, not as I do going on. But that's pretty much par for the course for the left. But again, I'll move on. The commercials were okay here. They were decent. So some were funny, some were sad, some were just kind of obscure. I didn't really know what was happening. The funniest commercial to me was one that really didn't air. Well, it aired, just not during the actual show. It aired like on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that. And that was one from PETA. I'm glad that the NFL rejected this one because it was really crazy. They were talking about speciesism, whatever that means. If I were to assume, I would think that it would be humans shouldn't be putting dogs and cats on the pedestal while we eat chicken and pigs and stuff like that. That could be what it is, but I don't know, so I'll move on. Anyway, during the commercial, they wanted to play on this whole Colin Kaepernick thing, and they had the animals kneeling. They even had a snake kneeling. Now, I know what you're thinking. Snakes don't have knees. I'm with you on that. Neither do fish, but they had them kneeling in the commercial. It was weird. And then at the very end, they had a gender non-conforming person. I'm not really sure what gender this person right here on the screen would be, but I digress. The point is that this commercial was crazy, and I'm glad that it got rejected from the Super Bowl by the NFL. Overall, I thought the game was a good game. Like I said, I thought the Chiefs were dead in the water, but they came back in the fourth quarter, scored 3 times. Shout out to my homeboy, 24-year-old quarterback. It's going to be a lot of think pieces about this. I'm going to see things about my homeboy being a black quarterback. Then I'm going to see things about the halftime show being degenerate. Then I'm going to see things about Beyonce and Jay-Z not standing. Then I'm going to see things about CTE. You know what's funny, as I close, people said that the halftime show was inappropriate for children, but yet, I mean, is the NFL appropriate for children? Let's be clear. You got people getting knocked out, concussions happening. I mean, I just don't really understand the whole the outrage behind it. That's just my personal opinion, though. Your opinion may be different, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How did you feel about the game? Was it a good game, bad game? How do you feel about the halftime show, Beyonce, Jay-Z? What are your takes on all of these things? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.